Is this boat seriously just floating by itself? It is. Alright, so here we are. Here's the church. And, I think this is the church. Okay, so that's nothing like it. Hold on. Let me just see the article in the game. Locations. No, that's nothing like it neither. What am I looking at? Hold on. Am I in the wrong place? Oh, I'm in the wrong place. That's Saint Zachariah, my bad. Oh, it's that one. Is that one? Okay, it's that one. Let's keep rowing the boat, since we're in the wrong place. So, the church we're looking for, it's further along there, it's behind these buildings. Come on, come on. Alright, let's get off here. I don't know why you can't just walk like a normal person, Ezio. Okay, here's a church. Also nothing like what we see in real life. Unless it's the other side. Unless it's this. Oh, it is. Oh, wait, no, it's not. No, it's not. So this side looks like that in the game. It looks like that in real life, though. Let's see. The Basilica di San Pietro di Castello, the Basilica of St. Peter of Castello, commonly called St. Pietro di Castello, is a Roman Catholic minor basilica of the Patriarch of Venice, located in the Castello Sestieri of the Italian city of Venice. The present building dates from the 16th century, but a church has stood on the site since at least the 7th century. From 1451 to 1807, it was the city's cathedral church, though hardly playing the usual dominant role of a cathedral, as it is overshadowed by the state church of St. Marco, and inconveniently located. During its history, the church has undergone a number of alterations and additions by some of Venice's most prominent architects. Andrea Palladio received his first commission in the city of Venice from the Patriarch Vincenzo Deodo to rebuild the facade and the interior of St. Pietro, but Deodo's death delayed the project. So that's Palladio's fault. It does look like Palladio's work too, this facade. So he changed the facade, and so it doesn't look like what it used to. Alright. After St. Mark's Basilica became Venice's official cathedral, it has previously been the private church of the Doge. St. Pietro fell into a state of disrepair. It was firebombed during the First World War, and only through the efforts of conservation organizations has it been restored to its former state. Its ongoing conservation is now managed through its membership of the Chorus Association of Venetian Churches. The building and the surroundings are a UNESCO World Heritage Site. No, the whole city is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, isn't it? The church is located on San Pietro di Castello, from which it derives its name, a small island off the eastern end of the main city of Venice. Are we talking about the same thing here? I'm not sure. The earliest structure dates from the 7th century. It was one of the 8 churches founded by St. Magnus, the bishops of Orderzo, who came to the Venetian lagoon during this period. At the time there was no city but simply a collection of small communities scattered throughout the marshy islands. In a vision, St. Peter appeared to Magnus and instructed him to found a church where he saw oxen and sheep grazing side by side. The location was found and St. Magnus built the church, dedicating it to St. Peter. The first bishop of Castello was invested in 1091. In 1120 a fire destroyed the church, requiring a new structure to be built. This was grander than the previous building, as seen on a map drawn by Jacopo de Barberi in 1500, and had an adjoining baptistry dedicated to St. John the Baptist, since destroyed. In 1451, and despite being some distance from the political and economic center of the city, St. Pietro became the seat of the Patriarch of Venice. Following this, the building began to see significant investment. During 1480s, Mauro Cardosi rebuilt the church's campanile using white Istrian stone. The first example of this seen in Venice. Between 1508 and 1524, the Patriarch Antonio Contarini restored the floors and ceiling. At the same time, minor chapels were rebuilt and the church was decorated with new furnishings. And then they talk about Palladio's changes to the front facade. Okay, so that's not really helpful because it doesn't tell us what it is in the game. Well, it tells us what it is in real life. So exterior, the church exhibits a muted facade compared to other Palladian designs in Venice. It features a prominent set of 4 engaged columns with composite capitals supporting the main pediment and entablature. 4 engaged columns, pediment and the stuff. It is then flanked by a double broken pediment. So the 2 sides, double broken pediment on 2 sides. The church has a large dome, which indicates the church's ecclesiastical importance, sharing an affinity with San Giorgio Maggiore and Il Redentore, both churches designed by Palladio. The dome is supported on a drum which has rectangular windows cut into it to let light into the building. The church's campanile is one of the most precarious in Venice. Interior, the building has a large central nave with Latin aisles. The transept crosses the church, separating the nave from the presbytery. The crossing point is capped by a large dome. The Vendramin Chapel, located off the left side, was designed by the Baroque architect Baldassare Longana, and was the high altar which he constructed during the middle of the 17th century. The organ was constructed by the Dalmatian craftsman Pietro Nacini, who was working in Venice during the 18th century. Okay, so that doesn't really describe what we see in the game, although that does describe what exists in real life now. Let's just check the dome. Is there a dome here now, or is there not? So, it has no dome, huh? Interesting. So, no dome in the game. So did Palladio add that then? Can I catch that guy? Probably not. Unless I shoot him. Alright, let's just leave him alone. Alright, so what else can we see in the game? Database, locations. I think it's closer to go this way now, isn't it? Wait a minute. Oh, it is. We're almost done, in fact. St. Zachariah. First built in the 9th century, St. Zachariah is dedicated to the father of St. John the Baptist, Zachariah, who is supposedly buried there. Other locations in which St. Zachariah is supposedly buried: the Grand Zaza Monastery in Nagorno-Karabakh, Yad Avshalom, the Great Mosque of Aleppo, and the Valley of Jehoshaphat. St. Zachariah burned down in 1105, killing more than 100 nuns. Oh, that sucks. The church was rebuilt around 1170 and then later redone with a mixture of Gothic and Renaissance styles. Ironically, in the Renaissance, it flourished as a nunnery of choice for the daughters of the noblest families in Venice, who obviously didn't know the building's history. I don't know, it's not that important, the history. Zachariah. San Zaccaria Web. San Zaccaria Venice. Let's look at that and images. So the facade looks like that, although in the game it's being constructed apparently. Let's just go over there. Alright, so it's just across the bridge here is in Zachary. So there's St. Zaccaria. And the front of it looks like, or is this the back?
I can't be bothered to care for these Pazzi.
Is it the front or the back? Oh, it's the front. Hold on. 1, 3, and 1, 2. Are there too many windows? 1, 3, 1. Oh, I see. The windows are too big. Or the church is too small. Look at that. Yeah, the church is too small. The real one is bigger, and the windows are in the wrong place because of it. St. Zaccaria is a church in Venice, northern Italy, dedicated to St. Zacharias, the father of John the Baptist, whose body it supposedly contains. It is a large edifice located in the quiet Campo San Zaccaria, just off the waterfront to the southeast of St. Mark's Basilica. The present church was built in a mixture of Gothic and Renaissance styles between 1458 and 1515. Oh, so that's why it's under construction in the game, because it's under construction in real life during that time. Antonio Gambello was the original architect who started the building in the Gothic style. But the upper part of the facade and the upper parts of the interior were completed by Mauro Carducci in the early Renaissance style. The first church on the site was founded by Doge Giustiniano Participazio in the 9th century, and 8 doges are buried in the still existing crypt. The original Romanesque church was rebuilt in the 1170s when the present campanile was built, and was replaced by a Gothic church in the 14th century. The church was attached to a Benedictine monastery which was visited by the Doge annually at Easter, and a ceremony which included presentations of the cornu, ducal cap. This tradition was begun after the monks donated land for the extension of the Piazza San Marco in the 12th century. Okay, I see. The interior of the church has an apse surrounded by an ambulatory lit by tall Gothic windows, a typical feature of Northern European church architecture, which is unique in Venice. The church houses one of the most famous works by Giovanni Bellini, the St. Zaccaria altarpiece. The walls of the aisles are entirely covered with paintings by other artists. Yeah, that's not really important to us. So that's the exterior, which doesn't quite look like the one in game, and the interior is also kind of interesting too, but we don't get to see it. It's a crypt, and it's flooded with water. Ew. Well, there you go. So there's St. Zachary. Don't get to see much of it. Let me just go around. So it should be like a Gothic. So the lower parts are Gothic and the upper parts are Renaissance, apparently. I'm not sure if that's even... No, I can't really tell, can you? No. Or maybe it's the interior, not the exterior. We can't really tell.
Guard! Stop him! Help! Stay away from me!
What? I had him. Never mind. Alright, so the next thing... Let's see what we're going to look at next. Database. Locations. San Giovanni e Paolo, or Paolo. One of the largest churches in Venice, Santi Giovanni e Paolo was built after Doge Jacopo Tiepolo had a dream about white birds flying over the site. He donated the land on which the church was built in 1246 to the Dominicans. The current Italian Gothic church was completed in 1430. On a stranger note, the church claims to contain the foot of St. Catherine of Siena. Born in Siena in 1347 as the last of 25 children, Catherine became an important ambassador for the Pope, whom she liked to call Daddy. Cool. Ironically, the most startling incident in her life happened after her death, when her followers in Siena attempted to steal her body from Rome. Unable to get the body out of the city, they lovingly cut off her head and put it in a sack. When the guards decided to search the sack, her followers prayed to Catherine. The guards saw rose petals inside the sack instead of the head, and let the group go to Siena without taking the bloody sack away from them. And that's why she's a saint. Cool. Alright, Santi Giovanni e Paolo. I don't know if I can spell that.
Assassino! Help!
Santi Gio... Oh my god. Giovanni... Oh, here we go. In Venice, though. And let us... Oh crap. I'll go back. Open in a new window. And open images. And let us run over there in the game if we can find it. It's that one there. No, get down. Alright, get down. So the arsenal... We've looked at the arsenal. Yeah, because there was a Templar tomb there. We did look at the arsenal in detail, kind of. So we don't have to look at that again. Where is this church? Where am I going? So the church is, this way? Yeah, I'll find it eventually. Oh crap.
I saw this. What's the matter with
Okay, here it is. So there's the church there. Let's stand back here and look at it. It looks pretty accurate, doesn't it? There's that thing on the bottom, the 6 pillars, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 little lance arches and stuff like that. Let's see. It's pretty well done. It's taller in real life though, isn't it? It is taller in real life. Yeah, the proportions are different. The interior is also quite impressive. Alright, let's see what Wikipedia has to say. The Basilica di San Giovanni e Paolo, known in the Venetian dialect as San Zanipolo, is a church in Venice, northern Italy, one of the largest churches in the city. It has the status of a minor basilica. After the 15th century, the funeral services of all of Venice's doges were held here, and 25 doges are buried in the church. Okay. A huge brick edifice built in the Italian Gothic style. It is the principal Dominican church of Venice, and as such was built for preaching to large congregations. It is dedicated to John and Paul, not the biblical apostles of the same name, but 2 obscure martyrs of the early Christian church in Rome, whose names are recorded in the 3rd century, but whose legend is of a later date. In 1246, Doge Jacopo Tiepolo donated some swampland to the Dominicans after dreaming of a flock of white doves flying over it. The first church was demolished in 1333, when the current church was begun. It was not completed until 1430. The vast interior contains many funerary monuments and paintings, as well as the Madonna della Pace, a miraculous Byzantine statue situated in its own chapel in the south aisle, and a foot of St. Catherine of Siena, the church's chief relic. The bell tower has 3 bells in D major. Cool. So, wow, look at that. Okay, well that's not... That's kinda short. Alright, next. Database, locations... The Scuola Grande di San Marco. So right next to it is this. The Scuola Grande di San Marco was one of the 6 large charitable organizations founded in Venice to help citizens afford food, dowries, processions, marriages, burials, and anything else they may need. Notably, the membership was open to any citizen of Venice, not just the elite. Well, the elite wouldn't need help with that stuff. Citizenship status was conferred on third-generation Venetians or those who had paid taxes for 15 years, meaning that Venetians were pretty xenophobic except when you give them money, yes. The facade of the building, which was built in 1260, was destroyed in the 1485 fire, causing it to be rebuilt in its current opulent Byzantine form. Okay, let's see if we can find that. S-C-U-O-L-A. S-C-U-O-L-A. Scuola, I can't remember how to spell it. Scuola Grande di San Marco, okay. Grande di San Marco. Wikipedia, alright, let's look at this. It's a charitable organization, but look how fancy it is inside. They spend most of the money on themselves. Ha! Let's just, hold on this. There's a building in Venice, northern Italy, alright. The Scuola di San Rocco, Confraternity of San Roque, protector against plague, which had struck Venice in that century, was established in 1478 by a group of wealthy Venetian citizens, next to the Church of San Rocco, from which it takes its name. In January 1515, the project of the building was entrusted to Bartolomeo Bon, although some authorities assigned it to his son Pietro Bon. In 1524, his work was continued by Sante Lombardo, who in turn 3 years later was replaced by Antonio Scarpagnino. Following his death in 1549, the last architect to work on the edifice was Giangiacomo di Grigi, finishing in September 1560. The design was similar to the other scuole in Venice, characterized by 2 halls, one at ground level, the other at first floor level. The Sala Terra, lower, has a nave and 2 aisles, with the entrances from the campo outside. From this hall, a stair with a landing surmounted by a dome led to the upper story. The Sala Superiore, upper hall, was used for meetings of the fellows and had a wooden altar. It provided access to the Sala d'Albergo, which housed the Banca and the Zonda, the confraternity's supervisory boards. I don't know if that makes any sense. So there's a lot of art inside. That doesn't really tell us very much though, does it? Aside from the fact that it's got a lot of artwork inside. But they're... okay. I don't know if that's all that useful to us, but let's move on. So, database, locations... Whoa, stop. Arsenal we've seen. Oh, this is fictional. The general quarters of Bartolomeo di Alviano. Bartolomeo di Alviano later went on to grander things later in life, serving as a general of the Venetian army. This period of Bartolomeo's biography seemed to be undocumented in the history books, and from the looks of the stable he's using as his headquarters, I can see why. So that's fictional. The Cannaregio district, largely a working-class area of the city. Cannaregio became the Jewish ghetto in 1516 and was enclosed by guarded gates to keep the Jews separated from the rest of Venice. That sucks. For your information, this was the origin of the Venetian term ghetto, which means a part of the city to which Jews were restricted. Not this culture so ghetto as is commonly thought today. The district contains the Church of St. Job and Madonna del Orto. St. Giobbe? Or St. Giobbe? One of the earliest examples of Renaissance architecture in Venice, this church was built for the residents of a nearby hospice by the Doge buried inside, Cristoforo Moro. Cristoforo presided over Venice's war with the Turks until his death in 1471. He had one son, Dante Moro, who he disowned after Dante lost his position as captain of the Venetian city guard in 1468. Well, that apparently ties in with the game. But let's go find that church and see what Wikipedia has to say. Actually, St. Job. Let's just start with Wikipedia. St. Job. St. Jobe. That's nothing like the thing in game. And I don't remember which one it is. It's one of these. I know that much. Alright, let's run over there.
Come, don't be shy. I am at your entire
Where is it? This way? So there's the Rialto again. The Rialto Bridge, I mean. And the church should be behind here somewhere? Or, you know, across the bridge here, maybe? What? What? Did that guy just sneer at me or what? Anyway, this is like the working class district apparently, and you see poor people sitting around drinking and begging for money. That's kind of sad. That's... Wait a minute. Maybe it's the other one. Hold on, let me just check the article in game. Locations, Venice. Okay, that's the wrong one. That's the wrong one. Alright, let's go west and see if we can find the right one.
Bring me your sick and wounded.
Alright. Hey, ladies, get out of the way. This one? That's nothing like the one in real life neither. What's that about? Let's climb up here. And can the guard see me? No. Alright, so it's that? Really? I mean... Database, locations... No, that's the one. That's the one in game. Huh. The Church of St. Job is a Roman Catholic church in Venice, northern Italy, dedicated to St. Job. It is located in the Canereggio, overlooking the campo of the same name, known as St. Gioppo in Venetian, on the left bank of the Canereggio Canal at the Ponte del Diaci. It is one of the 5 votive churches built in Venice after the onset of the plague. Right. That's not... in 1378, a hospice was with a small oratory dedicated to St. Giobbe or St. Job attached was begun on the site by Giovanni Contarini on land he owned near his house. It was completed by his daughter Lucia, with the help of the minor observant friars. The oratory was replaced by the present church by Bernardino of Siena with the financial backing of Doge Cristoforo Moro, in gratitude for Bernardino's prophecy that Moro would become Doge. Cristoforo donated 10,000 ducats to the building works in 1471, 3 months before his death, and was buried in the church. Work began in 1450, paused until 1470, and was finally consecrated in 1439 as one of the first examples of Renaissance architecture in Italy. It was begun by Antonio Gambello, and when work began again in 1470, completed by the sculptor and architect Pietro Lombardo, with the latter designing the present outer arch and main door as well as much of the interior decoration. That... really? Hold on. Images? Oh, the interior is fancy. The exterior, yeah, is that. How did they botch that completely? That's nothing like the thing in real life. Unless I'm looking at the wrong side of it. No, it's just nothing like it. Hold on, let's just get behind it. Nope. Nope, that is... Wait, what? Ah, get away. That's really nothing like the thing in real life. Okay. Well, one more building before we're done here in Venice. I was running the wrong way. Alright, it should be this way. Can I catch him? No, I can't. Never mind. Alright, so one more church. And it's this thing here. Oh wait, no it's not. It's this thing here.
Don't be shy. I only aim to hear. These have been posted as amendments to the laws concerning
That's
the Codice
pretty
Acta,
good.
available for consultation in all uffici comunali.
No.
Faster, faster.
Go away. Look at that guy. Alright, database, locations, and Madonna d'Orto. Erected by the Humiliati, a penitential order in the 14th century, Madonna d'Orto was initially dedicated to St. Christopher. When a miraculous statue of the Virgin was found in a nearby orchard, orto in Italian, the church was renamed. The facade was added in 1464. That's the least descriptive article I've ever seen in my life. Madonna d'Orto. So let's see if we can find that in Wikipedia. Madonna d'Orto is a church in Venice. Alright, good. So that's pretty accurately recreated in the game. That looks pretty much... Hold on, is it too narrow? Look, there's 5 statues beyond the edge there. Look at that. Whereas in the game... Nope, not quite right, is it? It's not quite the same. Like, I don't understand why this game just takes liberties with these buildings. It's just not quite the same, is it? I don't know. Alright, so there's the... yeah, no, it's not quite the same. The church was erected by the now defunct religious order, the Humiliati, in the mid-14th century, under the direction of Tiberio da Palma, who is buried in the interior. It was initially dedicated to St. Christopher, patron saint of travelers, but its popular name suggests consecration to Holy Virgin comes from the following century, when an allegedly miraculous statue of the Madonna commissioned for the Church of St. Maria Formosa, but rejected, was brought to the church from the nearby orchard where it had languished. Wait, they found a rejected statue in an orchard, and that's a miracle? Okay. Okay. The church lay on weak foundations, and in 1399 a restoration project was financed by the city's Major Consiglio. The Humiliati, due to their depraved customs, were ousted in 1462, and the Madonna del Orto was assigned to the Congregation of Regular Canons of St. George. The latter order was suppressed in 1668, and the following year the church and convent annexed were handed over to the Cistercians of Lombardy. In 1787, the church came under public administration. Restoration was begun under Austrian rule in 1840s and finished in 1869. In Venice had become part of the unified kingdom of Italy. Wait a minute, why? What was depraved customs? Depraved customs? Decline and suppression? Laxity in the series of... In the course of time, the accumulation of material possessions and the limitations placed on the number of members admitted, for at one time there were only about 170 in the 94 monasteries, led to laxity and serious abuses. St. Charles Borromeo, Archbishop of Milan, was commissioned by Pope Pius V to remedy the situation. The rigor with which he did this roused such opposition among a minority that a conspiracy was formed, and one of the Humiliati, a certain Girolamo Donati, called Farina, attempted to murder Charles. Okay, that sounds crazy. What was that? I don't see any depraved customs though. The nuns recited the canonical hours, fasted rigorously, and engaged in other severe penitential practices such as the discipline or self-inflicted whipping. I don't know. Anyway, let's get on with the building. Overview: the facade. The facade, built in 1460 to 1464, had sloping sides and is in brickwork, divided in three parts by two pilaster strips. The two side sections have quadruple mullioned windows, while the central has a large rose window. The portal is surmounted by a pointed arch with white stone decorations portraying on the summit St. Christopher, the Madonna, and the Archangel Gabriel by Niccolo di Giovanni Fiorentino and Antonio Rizzo. Under is a tympanum in porphyry supported by circular pilaster strips. The whole is included into a porch with Corinthian columns. The upper central section is decorated by small arches and bas-reliefs with geometrical motifs. The upper sides have instead 12 niches each, containing statues of the apostles. 5 other Gothic niches are in the central section, with 18th century statues representing prudence, charity, faith, hope, and temperance, taken from the demolished church of Santo Stefano. Okay. Interior has a nave with 2 aisles with double-framed pointed arches supported by Greek marble columns. The transept is absent, while in the rear is a pentagonal apse decorated by paintings by Jacopo Robusti, known as Tintoretto, who is buried here. The organ over the entrance is built in 1878. It's one of the most powerful in Venice. Okay, it's got a powerful organ. It doesn't really say very much about the architecture though. It's got a lot of statues and artworks on the interior. The bell tower in brickwork was finished in 1503. So it's not finished in the game, I see. It has a square plan with pilaster strips on the sides leading to the cell with circular mullioned windows. 4 semicircular timpani divided the cell from the upper cylindrical tambour with an onion dome in Eastern style. On the sides are 4 statues of evangelists of Pietro Lombardo's school. On the summit is the statue of the Redeemer in white marble. The old bells, the largest being from 1424, were replaced in 1883. Doesn't really say too much about the architecture, does it? Well, I guess...
A levy will be imposed
Yeah, so that
upon
tower is
all
not actually
importation of goods deemed
the same as the real
non-essential.
tower in real life. So, okay, there we go. I guess that's our tour of Venice. And we looked at all the landmarks named in the game. What else can we do? I don't think there's too much else for us to do. Maybe if you wanna see more of the... Why are they there? Maybe if you wanna see more of this, you can buy the game yourself and play through it. That's always recommended. But in the meantime, I'm gonna take a break because I've been talking for a long time and I'm getting a bit tired. So I'll see you guys in the next video where we progress with the main story of the game. I'll see you guys there.